this is the kind of template of what we're going to be making. So we want there to be a photograph that I've put in of my choosing here, and then the information about an event down the bottom, and then everything else is going to come from the template that we've got here. So this is kind of a demonstration, but this is the kind of image that we're going to be working with. And this is a special kind of image file called a PNG. And so you get the JPEGs, which is a photograph or an image that fills the screen. With a PNG, anything, it depends how it's been made, but anything that has, if there was just nothing in part of it, or something that was semi-transparent, those kind of, that kind of information is saved into the image. So if we used a piece of photo editing software, we can pop this onto something else and see through that orange filter into the image we put behind, getting something really effective quite easily and branding it up. So I'll show you how I'd go about doing that. Back a few years ago, I think the only way to do this would have been using Photoshop, which is really good, but quite an expensive piece of software that's got too many features for what we need now. But because we live in the internet age, there's some great online platforms allowing us to do this. So I'm going to use one, and so that's my PNG. That's the image that's going to my kind of graphic design image, and then I've got a couple of photographs of my guitarist, so that I want to combine with that. So here we go. Those are on my computer. So here we go. So I'm going to go to the Pixlr website. So this is a completely free platform. There are paid for features within it, but we're not going to use them. We don't need to use them at all. So it takes you to this page where there's lots of great templates for if you ever needed to create any visual assets for anything for social media. They're all customizable, so you can type in your group's name and stuff like that. But we're going to ignore that and just deal with the template that we've got. So I'm going to go to I'm going to create a brand new image. So on the left-hand side, there's one that says open image here. So I'm going to click open, and it brings me to my computer where I can select images on there. So I'm going to first of all select the editable PNG. So here we go. I'll open that up, and it's brought it up in a kind of editing view. And if I press the control key on my keyboard, and if your mouse has a little wheel, I can scroll it and zoom out, which I find it's a bit more manageable to deal with what I'm working with, where I can see the edges. And you can see on the left hand side there's this like hash kind of checkerboard grid, and that isn't on the image. That's just showing that it's clear, so there's nothing back there. So if you put a photo underneath, that's the bit that's going to be see-through. And on the far right of the screen, there's a bit that says layers. And this is the same principle to our multi-track editing in the video editor. This is the same, but with still images. And each track is known as a layer when you deal with photographs or graphic design. And the ones closer to the top show up on the top, like the tracing paper, and the ones as we work down will be hidden as we go beneath. So what we need to do is get in our photograph and put it beneath. So I'm going to go on the far left. There's going to be a way to add an image. So here we go. It's the fifth one down. I click add image, and it allows me to go through stock images they've got here. So perhaps I haven't got a photograph of my group, but there'll be stock images that are free to use, just like when we were talking about royalty-free music. So perhaps in my example, I could find a picture of a guitar or something, or if I wanted to, or something else. But I'm going to click browse because I've got an actual photograph that I want to use. And browse, once again, I'll open up my computer to navigate around it. And I've got a photograph that I really like, that I think sums up the video that I took when we made the video. And it's just plunked it on the top layer here immediately. So it's blocked the see-through bit beneath, but we don't need to worry about that yet because we can change the order of the layers. But what I am going to worry about is the sizing of it. So the photograph is way bigger than the bit we actually see. That blue box around the outside is the sizing of the photo. So if I get the corner, I can make it smaller or bigger. And as I make it smaller, I can see the layer beneath. So what I'm going to do is make it so the guitarist kind of fills the screen, and I'm going to put it over on the left-hand side because I know that this orange part isn't see-through, so I don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to put him there. And then I'm going to go over to the layers, and I'm going to click on the bottom one, and then down the bottom, there should be a way to simply change the order of these. Here we go. Click on the top one and drag it down in the layers. So I'm dragging my picture of my guitarist. I'm not moving where he appears on the screen, but I'm moving his order in the layers, and it's put him underneath now, and I can see he's displaying, but through that kind of orange style kind of filter. So that all looks in keeping. And if you made one of these that wasn't about Make Music Day, it would still be the same principles. I could have had just a photograph or a graphic design image of my group. Maybe he's a member of a guitar group and they've got a logo. We could put it on there. And then finally, I just want to write some text on here. So I'm going to go to the far left, go to add text, and I'm going to click add text at the top left. There's lots of presets with really exciting creative ways that we could do the writing, which is great, and I haven't explored those, but I'm just going to do this in a really simple way. So I click add text, and it's automatically put some Latin text in the middle of the screen, and I can, much like Shortcut, I have to go over to the kind of filter section in the far left to change what it says. So I'm just going to change it to summer performance. And then if I go beneath, I can change all kinds of different things like the font, and I could spend ages looking for one that really makes that I'm really happy with. And there's a sizing change. And then when I want to move it, I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it down so it goes in this kind of white bar here. I thought would be good for it. But unfortunately, the text is white. So I'm going to change that, make it a nice black. And now what I can't see it still, and that's because it's automatically put the text layer beneath our kind of graphic design layer. We need the text to be on top. So just like before, I'll grab the layer that's in the wrong place, and then I'll grab it and move it. So sorry, I grab the text, then I click and drag it up, and now the text layer is on the top there. And if I click away, this is my finished kind of composition. I've got the logos, I've put in my custom text, and behind I've got a personal image that's directly related to the video. And I can click save on this and select what sizes and everything I want this saved in. This one can be a JPEG, it doesn't need to be a PNG because we're combining everything together. That was just that kind of starting bit that you would receive, or say if you had a specific logo, it's good to work with a PNG because you can make clear bits of it, but for this it's not. And then I'm just going to call it my thumbnail, save it down to my computer, and I'll put the quality as 100%. I'm sure it doesn't make much difference. Leave it on high and then click download, and this is downloaded. That's now on my computer. So now I've got a video file and I've got this image, and as well I'll drop down a title and description, and those are my 3 building blocks for what I want to publish on the internet. And these will be perfect for YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, anything like that.